Win by 38 runs for the English team. That's how they start their series. How many matches?
3 T20Is and a one-off test. And yes,
1-0 to England.
England continuing on from where they left off in India the last time. They had beaten them 3-0. And by the way, this is a new look England team. I mean, you've got so many.
What new look? I see the same. I see
There's
Sophie
nothing new look about this
Ecclestone,
team.
I see
There are some
Catherine,
youngsters. Nat
River Brunt, and I
Hardly
see.
new.
Yeah, but then you don't have the likes of Anya Shropsole. You don't have the likes of
Then
Heather Knight.
Mahika Gaur is, people will say new, but I've been watching a lot of her videos. The left arm, when she brings the ball in and takes it out.
One of the 5 women players to be double internationals. Played for the UAE and now for England. Amongst the current lot, the only individual is Bernardine Bezuidenhout, South Africa and New Zealand. So,
unless I have got magnifying glasses in my eyes.
yeah, you have to increase the font size. Yeah. So basically, India squandered a position where they had reduced England for 2-2 and allowed them to get to 197.
When they were 2 for 2, yeah, they had no business getting to close to 200. That England did.
Yes.
That is unpardonable.
Yep.
197 is what England got from being 2 for 2. But then you have Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Does Wyatt do this all the time?
Yes.
But see, that's where
Virat Kohli fan.
That's where experience comes into play, right? See, Dunkley, Capsey gone cheap. Who are the ones who then staged the salvage job? Danny Wyatt and Nat River Brunt. The 2 key wickets, you get one of them, you're halfway there, but you couldn't get any of them until it was too late. And then the other advantage they have power hitting lower down. Someone like a Freya Kemp comes, hits 1-4 at the end. You've got an Amy Jones, 23 of 9, striking at 255.
Yep.
What is India's biggest problem when it comes to T20Is? You don't have power hitting.
Yeah. So actually where you were, I mean, let's say when Shafali gets out, I know it's an uphill task, but if you had someone like an Amy Jones who could get you at a strike rate of 255, you could still win from there.
Yes.
The difference is exactly that, as Shane points out, that you do not have power hitting. You know, for India, the only chance is if Shafali gets you run, or Harmanpreet gets you, or Smriti Mandhana gets you runs on top. Maybe on a certain day, Jemima gets you runs. Those are the days that you've really done well. I can think of a few games where you've had the tail that's really contributed, but that too also has been a situation where you needed maybe 7 and over or 8 and over at best. As soon as you go past 10 and over, which India had, no chance. But I'm saying if you reverse the situation, let's say India batted first, gets you that 197, and then the kind of start that England had, where one of them goes on to get runs like Shafali and the others just chip in with a little bit. Yet if you're in that similar situation, you can win with the firepower that they have. In India, no chance.
To your point, we'd be lucky if we had someone like an Amy Jones. I'd take someone who's striking it at 145, 150. Even if you're looking at India, the batting lineup, there's maybe 3 batters who I trust who can strike it at that or close to that. I'd not even put Harmanpreet there. Shafali, her T20I career strike rate is 107. So in T20I, she really struggles to top the ante. I've never understood it. In ODI, she plays like T20Is but struggles to play T20Is. Shafali, Smriti to an extent, and Richa Ghosh. But it's too much expectation from a 20-year-old Richa Ghosh and Shafali who's
also 20
years old. There we go.
Has she turned 20?
Yeah, she played in the under-19.
Under-19.
No, so yeah, she is.
Has she turned 20 is my question.
Yeah, Jan 28 she will
I
turn.
told you, she's 19.
19.
So a 20-year-old and a 19-year-old are 2 of your 3 power hitters.
Smriti, who is the most experienced among the 3 that you mentioned.
Of the 3 I mentioned, Smriti is the most experienced, but I think that's really it. Beyond that, you don't have power hitting. And again, with India, the template for chasing 160. Maybe a 170 if you're pushing it. Beyond that, no. Once it was 197, I'm like, no, this is an uphill task.
As I said, you can chase it, but that is provided you get a 100-run stand with the Shafali and Smriti at a double quick pace, right? They're batting at 10 and over, sort of a 100-run stand. From there, then it comes down to 7 and over or something like that. Then maybe you can chase a 200.
I disagree. The Indian women's cricket team have really no template to chasing. Look at each and every loss that you've had ever since the last 7 years, okay? In all formats. ODI World Cup, final, chased. Lost. But that was because Australia had already batted them out of the game. 2023, the World Games. When you dismiss your 3 batters like what you have just mentioned, but in all the collapses that's there, Harmanpreet has never contributed. When she's contributed, she fell at an
to the final, yeah, when everything failed.
But again, it's like.
Oh, but you said has never. That's I just correct.
But in the final also, Commonwealth Games.
But you
would say, I would add to that.
You could say rarely.
Rarely, okay, fine, rarely, just for the sake. But again, final, look what Harmanpreet did. Commonwealth Games and even in the World T20 semi-final. Unpardonable shot, unpardonable judgment. So that is why 3 batters who can show both of that. But now we are reading too much into Shafali's knock. Today was a uncharacteristic Shafali Varma knock.
Yeah, because once she reached 30, I was expecting now it's coming.
Oh,
it didn't come.
She reached 52.
It didn't come. And by the way, when she was captain, she was one of the least performing players in the Under-19 World Cup.
Correct.
So that
in fact, Richa Ghosh was probably one of the top performers in that tournament.
Exactly. We are praying that in the WPL we unearth some power hitters. But that's in the first season, we did not. Although Kanika Ahuja, who plays for RCB, she does show a bit of promise, but only bit. It isn't highlighted in that sense. And again, tactical questions from Harmanpreet. Why would you want to entrust a debutant to bowl the 20th over?
I don't understand.
Shreyanka Patil, I know, impressed in the India A games, has been very good in the under-19s, also in all the other matches.
Even in the WPL.
Even the CPL. She was one of the first Indians to play for Guyana Amazon Warriors in the CPL. She was good in that also. Why?
But can I add one more thing? Someone like a Shreyanka coming in also highlights one problem. And again, vis-a-vis, if you look at the England bowling lineup, one major problem. You don't have much in the way of variety. You really don't. Renuka is your one out-and-out pacer. The rest of them are all either slower or spinners. So a Deepthi, a Shreyanka, slower in terms of the medium pacers.
Dibbly,
Wobblies, and Wibbly Wobblies and the spinners. That's it. Whereas if you look at this England side, as I was saying, there's some youngsters there, but there's left-armers also.
And may I add, I mean, no disrespect, but some of your spinners, the ball doesn't reach only. I mean, spinners can have a rip, right? And I'll look at Ecclestone.
Sarah Glenn, my God, the way the rev she gives those balls, of course, a little extra with the flight, but I think that works in women's cricket because again, that flight is inviting you to then hit powerfully, which this Indian team can't do.
Why do you think Poonam Yadav was so successful? Poonam Yadav, her speed at one time was 38 miles per hour. 38.
I'm pretty sure I bowl at that
But even Deepthi is very slow that way.
Deepthi is slightly quicker than Poonam Yadav, but yes. But she's accurate. But somewhere in the last couple of years, Deepthi Sharma has lost her accuracy. Otherwise, she would bowl wonderfully in the death, in the power play. This is the same Deepthi Sharma who used to have an economy rate of 2 and 1 against better teams like South Africa also. But that accuracy has totally deserted her.
In fact, she was relatively underwhelming even in the WPL, and that was despite the fact that she was, I think, the marquee player for which team was it? UP Warriors?
I think it was UP Warriors.
Yeah, and she was one of those people who was expected to kind of be the stand-up performer. She wasn't.
Questions for Deepthi Sharma's accuracy, because she would be a wicket taker, but her key forte was accuracy, stump to stump. That's gone missing. That's the key thing which is actually pulling the bowling down. Because if you look at Vastrakar has got pace, but the problem with Vastrakar is lack of accuracy. Only Renuka Singh, in swing, new ball. She's a brilliant proponent of the new ball.
That too, you've brought her back.
Yeah.
After inexplicably dropping her with having no alternatives, which again then explains, really the conundrums that face you, or what really is the decision making. Because I don't quite understand it. There's no consistency. And you kind of get away with that in men's cricket because you have a deep talent pool. Here you don't even have a deep talent pool. You're creating a talent pool.
But I'm saying maybe you've just had the coach, first came
Amol
in charge.
Muzumdar.
So he's now the permanent coach, and there was a bit of uncertainty about who's going to be coaching for some time. Now you know that he's a permanent coach. He's been given that job, and he'll have a tenure, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, whatever. Maybe then that consistency that you were talking about, maybe we'll get to see. So whatever his vision, you may agree, disagree. But if there is a vision, whatever it is, you just want to see consistency in that.
Absolutely. I mean, because you didn't have a coach for so long. You brought in Amol Muzumdar, and poor guy really is on a hiding on to nothing here. First series, it's only against England. Probably, I think if you're looking at
Australia's coming here.
That's at least better than Australia.
No, but England are like your 1A. If you're talking about Australia being the clear top dogs, then the 1A is England and South Africa.
We are slightly better. I mean, imagine if you were starting off against Australia.
Then forget about it.
A little better. But I'd say the game changer is Sophie Ecclestone for me. I've been a long time admirer. And I don't know whether I can say it. Tell me if the woke generation or the feminist won't come after me. So I have to be careful. If I was in managing a men's team and if I got one player, a woman player that I could pick in my team, she'd be number one on my list.
It's phenomenal.
Because I think that you could look at certain batters and that against genuine pace and various other things that you get in men's cricket, they may take time to adjust or maybe tough for them to get to terms with. And sometimes even their fast bowlers could be easy meat to some of the men batters that you have. But in terms of a player that I think could just naturally fit and would be difficult to play would be Sophie Ecclestone. So if I could make a play for an IPL team, it'd be a good experience, because I honestly feel she could even trouble the best of the men's batter that you have around. And I'm saying that just looking at her craft.
Yeah.
So spinners anyway, so that doesn't necessarily will be shot on pace as such. Secondly, she's not that slow loopy spinner that you're talking about that you get in the women's game. Thirdly, as I said, the craft, she can bowl the quicker one, she bowls that loopy one, she will bowl the arm ball, she'll bowl the one that will turn, like look at what she did to Harmanpreet today, the one that so she's got all the boxes ticked. It'd be interesting if she plays the men's game. I think she could compete. She'd be at that.
She's following
Firstly, I want to know, will I get
No.
for this? Was it
No.
feminists coming after me?
No, as a feminist, no, you're good.
Oh, okay.
You're good. She's actually following up from one of the peers that she's played under with also and played against a lot. There's one more spinner, left arm spinner, who does this on a regular basis, bowls brilliantly in the death. Imagine a left arm spinner bowling in the death and also dries up runs in the power play also. Ash Gardner. I mean, if you look at Ashley Gardner, I mean, she is a phenomenon in itself, and that's why who bowls left arm spinners in the death overs?
I mean, to be fair, Jess Jonathan.
Just Jonathan.
Another
one. Jonathan, in fact, is better than Ecclestone.
Yeah, Jonathan's probably the only one better than her in that regard.
Jess Jonathan, I mean, she can walk into any great men's team also.
Great.
Great's a bit much, but yeah.
I mean, why not? Look at all the wins that Australia have had. Look at the one against India, that semi-final.
But Sophie Ecclestone, I saw her, I don't know, I'd put her number one, even in WPL if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she was phenomenal in the WPL. Yeah.
In fact, see, if there is one league, like how we say IPL is the game changer for men's cricket, the WBBL is the game changer for women's cricket.
So,
not just first mover advantage, you play in natural conditions. They don't alter the pitch or you don't do anything. You play all over Australia and there are crowds and it's viewed. Streaming records are broken, viewership records are broken.
In stadium?
Stadia.
that way actually, even in England, I saw for the internationals, women's international, packed houses.
The 100 for women is much more commercially appealing than the men's 100 if you look at it. All the talent that you see, for example, Mahika Gaur, for Manchester Originals, she was one of the stars in the 100 for them.
Sarah Glenn did very well in the 100 as
Lauren Bell also. All of these new talent pool in the women's team are getting a big exposure in the 100. And that's where the 100 is a boon. Not for the men, because the men already have too many formats. Where do the women play the T10? Hardly anybody.
T10 is rubbish.
I know.
It is terrible.
But still, it's been played.
And plus, you're now getting those no balls there.
Oh, Abhimanyu Mithun.
Yeah,
I did a short on it and I named him. It's impossible to not name him here. Everywhere he's gone viral. It's that big.
the foot is right there. This is the popping. The foot is right there. Oof. It's truly. Yeah, but then credit to England. I mean, look, as I said, there is Australia, there is daylight, and then there is England.
I think with England, I'd say South Africa, the only other team that are at that 1A kind of position. Close. They also have a few talented players like England and can kind of, on a good day, be dominant.
I'm looking at the new era there also. Laura Woolwart is going to captain them. Plus, they have the likes of Sunil, then they have Nadine de Klerk. All of them very, very upcoming talent that's there. So, but for India, just the 3. At max 4. That's it. Get them out cheaply, you've got no chance.
Not helped by the fact that this team, and we've seen it happen a lot, they're prone to cluster collapses. 2-3 wickets go, someone will panic, and then you'll see 3 more wickets fall. By that point, you've reached the end of your batting. Like today, that didn't happen.
But then what broke the chase? See, they were 41 for 1. But what broke the chase? Mandana's wicket. Nat Siver knocking the middle stump out. That's it. It deflated their chase. Because look at how the run rate dipped after that.
I mean, the asking rate by the time the power play was done was over 10. Which meant you're already in trouble. Like not over 10, it was nearing 11.
Yep.
So,
and I don't know in this WPL whether you're going to get any power hitters. Because if you look at the Aussies and you look at the England women's cricketers, they are filled with power hitters. Grace Harris, she's the ultimate power hitter. Talia McGrath.
She reminds me of Andrew Simons.
Oh, yes. Game changer. Roy was the ultimate game changer that you could get. And also batting at number 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's what.
Look at that Aussie lineup, man. Oof. Unbelievable.
On that note.
Yep. Let's call it a night. Because I think it's day after tomorrow, the second T20I.
We'll be back.
We will be back, yep.
Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for more such content.
Yes.
And everything that comes in the world of sport, from football to Indian sport,
Yep.
to men's and women's cricket.
Yep. Hockey, that's the main focus in December. Men's Junior World Cup, the women unfortunately finished 9th. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night. Vanakkam.
Nandri, Shabba Khair.
Shubhratri.
Eat your vegetables. Richie Beno.
what is this new thing?